get this over here going. We got 30 minutes, y'all.
All right.
This joker over here. This joker live already. I'm through my phone.
Yep.
Okay. Oh wait. Oh, it's live over here too. Let me turn the sound down. Okay. All right. I'm gonna figure this thing out here sooner or later. All right. Let's see what's happening over here. All right. Let me get this here set over here. I don't know what's going on. All right. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? We back. We back. We back. All right. Let's get a minute here. Let's see here. Anybody showing? We got one person in there. That may be me. Let's get somebody else come in here for a minute. I seen. We're gonna see what's going on here in a second or two. All right.
Yeah.
But we back. We back. We back. Um. For those who don't know, this is Old Heads Kicking with Young Cat. I'm James Schuler, and who we got with us?
Javon McCray.
Boswell King.
Yeah.
All right, and we cover Old Heads with a Young Cat. So we usually be on Monday nights, but we had a rough weekend. We had some rough weekend going on. Myself, I was tired from a long weekend, and we just took Monday off. Now we over here. We on Wednesday.
Maybe Wednesday's better now.
Think so?
God's plan. Yeah, maybe God's plan. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I don't know. Maybe we may be stuck here on Wednesday. What you think, Bob? I think we'll be stuck here on Wednesday for a little while.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
We're gonna try it though.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen. That ain't saying we're gonna be here. That's saying we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna think about it.
Right.
Wednesday. Let's see who else watching. Okay, we got some. Okay. All right. Man. Let's see. Where we gonna start at? Listen. We're gonna have a quick little short conversation here. Before I get started though, I want to set this up. I'm reading this book right about this bank robbery that happened a long time ago over in Stockholm, Switzerland. This dude robbed the bank and he held the people in the bank hostage, and he was working with the authorities to get one of his friends. They didn't know it was a friend. He was his friend, but they worked with authorities to have one of his friends brought from a prison. They negotiated to get this dude out of a prison, brought to the bank, and with the understanding that he was going to work with the police to help free the prisoners and get the bank robber caught. So they actually brought this dude from prison, brought him to the bank in Switzerland and in Stockholm, and they let him hang. They sent him in the bank. They sent him in the bank. And then the first thing this dude did when he get in the bank, right, is he gets established in there with the prisoners, the hostages they had in there, and he identified who the bank robber was, and then he set it up with the police to say that listen, the bank robber, he has the prisoners brainwashed, and you guys are afraid. So if you guys try to talk to them, they're gonna panic. So the only person you should talk to is me. So no matter who gets on the phone, don't talk to him, because the bank robber said if you talk to anybody other than me, he knows no telling what he's gonna do. He's a hothead, and we don't want anybody to panic. So if somebody else gets on the phone other than me, don't talk to him. Tell him to put me back on the phone. And the police, they went for it.
Wow.
They went for it. So now he started telling the prisoner, the hostages, that the police was going to try to kill him. So they need to stay in there. That they was out to get him. All they cared about was the bank. They didn't care about them. They cared about the money. It was all about the money. That's why they'll come in here and shoot them. So they got to make sure they stay safe, because they don't want to get killed and all that kind of stuff. And every now and then one would sneak out there, but the police was so on edge that when one ran out there, they'll take a shot. Then they'll run back in and they think, wow, they are trying to kill us. And then when they get on the phone, then they try to talk to the police, and the police say, I don't want to talk to you. Put him back on the phone. Put him back on the phone.
Right.
So this dude is completely controlling the narrative. And it's in Stockholm now, Stockholm, Switzerland, true story. This dude gets these people to really start to trust him and start to distrust the police. And he changed the narrative to where the police were the bad people. And they were trying to harm them, and he was part of the team that was trying to keep them alive. And it got to the point where the people refused to leave. unless the police guaranteed the safety of the bank robbers.
Wow.
When was this?
They actually, it's called Stockholm. Stockholm. It happened in Stockholm, Switzerland. All right, it happened in Stockholm, Switzerland, back in the 70s.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't happen that long ago. And so when they now here's what gets crazier at, because at the end, the robbery the police came in, everybody got out, but the hostages was shielding the bank robbers. They was hugging. They developed a relationship. There's one thing that's written out there that one person says that that one of the hostage was having sex with one of the bank robbers, that they really got connected like that.
Yeah.
Right? And then when they went to trial, they tried to say that one of the girls in there was down with the plot. And so her defense was that because of the amount of trauma and the fear and the high stress situation that they was under, her situation is a psychotic thing, which today they call Stockholm Syndrome. Today they call it Stockholm Syndrome. Where prisoners and hostages and people who were traumatized, they identify with their captives, and they try to in the United States, this lady named Patty Hearst. Remember her? Long time ago, Patty Hearst got involved in a bank robbery and all kind of crazy stuff went on. And she said that she started to I think she was held hostage or something like that. I think Patty Hearst was held hostage. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that, but she was held hostage. Something happened with her, and she started to identify with the person that held her hostage, and to the point where she was starting to leave the place and come back. All right. Go back. And people started saying that she was down with him and wanted to she went to jail and put in prison. And her defense was Stockholm Syndrome. Said that she was trying to identify with the bank robber. And she felt that some psychotic episode was going on. So my question is this: this is why I'm going through all this, right? Because I don't beat this up a little bit. I want you to understand, though. This is what I think is going on with a lot of people in our society today. We are on different levels. I could be wrong. Now, listen, don't let me just sit up here and talk. If you got a question, go ahead and ask. I want to put this out here anyway. Huh?
I feel the same way. And I think we're ushered into doing certain things. We're marginalized in the community, especially Black minorities, to fit a certain mold, and that's how we survive here, to fit that mold.
Yeah, but right. But can you see people identifying with people who oppose them? Like one of the things I've heard people say a lot, right, is man, this is all I can do. Like I went with I took some young people. We some young people went to Albany over the weekend, and we was around the whole. I mean, it was thousands of people there.
Yeah.
Everybody, the Black and Puerto Rican. Everybody, the Black and Puerto Rican. And our boys, they seen so many people look like them doing some professional things. I mean, in real life or some serious situations. Right. And one thing I said to him was, I said, do y'all realize that out of all the people that's here, right? And this is nothing against them. This is nothing against that. I'm game, but y'all was the only ones here whose goals were to play basketball so they can buy their mama a house. Everybody else here wanted to become lawyers, doctors, judges, scientists, bigger dreams, and that's not because or they think different more than you or anything like that, but that's because they're surrounded by people who expect that of them, who tell them about those things, and who tell them those opportunities. Right. They're not around people who say, you know what you can do. When it gets close to the end of the quarter, you can start playing basketball. You want to play basketball, so you got to get your grades up.
Right.
You see, so we get into that situation, and people start thinking. That's how Stockholm Syndrome. We start identifying that. We start to see that.
I feel like they're not trained, though, Jake. Like I feel like that's one of the things that's hard to. It's hard to get over that, because I mean I've been through that too. Like even when I first moved to Newark, they told me, oh, you should play basketball, man. You're so tall. You should play ball. So like even the kids is pushing. It's like there's so many influences on doing certain stuff. You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
So like I deal a lot. I'm not dealing with a lot of kids, but I deal with some kids. And you rarely hear like one of the kids say like doctor, or you hear a firefighter. My firstborn son want to be a firefighter or a construction guy. Other kids want to do sports and stuff like that. I don't think kids don't think they have a chance to do that stuff either. It's hard to get in some of these big time schools and get that job. And it's a long ride on school, like 10, 12 years in.
Not everything. It's all types of different ways to get. It's so many different things. What do you think, Boz? I mean,
I think as far as even with the with parents and Section 8 welfare, all that stuff, we rely on our oppressor for survival tactics, and I don't understand how would we rely on the same people that's oppressing us? Well, why would we trust the same people that's oppressing us for a better life?
Right. And so I think. I mean, because I ponder these things a lot. I've been sitting around a lot of different people who've been in these situations, and God's really blessed me to be around some really high thinking people. And one thing that I found is that it ain't that we people consciously do it. I don't think that people are aware or that we're not providing for ourselves.
Right.
So I don't think that people are. I think people know that we struggle. I don't think people know we're having a hard time. I know people know that they can do different. They can do better. But
but it's like, how many people understand that, like water?
Go ahead, Boz. Let Boz hit me. Hit Boz. Then come on down there.
I was just thinking like it's really like it's like common sense too. And when I talk about the welfare and the Section 8, it's like when you are given those things, one of those parents got to be taken out the home, and two is better than one. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather struggle with two than to struggle with one by myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. What you say now, Javon?
Well, like it's like, do we know when people are struggling? Do we know why we're struggling? Do we understand some of the reasons why we are dependent on our oppressors? And I think like you knew like some of the resources. I'm around a lot of people that don't even take drinking water serious or eating fruits and veggies, or just that in general.
Sometimes situations it's just as simple. When people use words like oppressor, them, they, and the man. Listen, that's the hardest. That's so hard to identify.
Yeah.
That's so hard to identify. What happens is that puts that language like that, right? It puts people in an uncomfortable position.
Yeah.
Because now you know I'm not talking about everybody. Obviously, it's not even a large number of people, but it just feels the weight is so. So when you start talking about why do we listen to our oppressor, then people start saying, okay, wait, hold on. What does he mean when you say oppressor? Who are they? What do they look like? How do they smell? What kind of pants are they? Is it a man or a woman? Is it you know what I'm saying?
Can I answer that? Whoever
go ahead.
Prices and grocery store prices, whoever doing that type of stuff.
Whoever
raising the gas prices and the grocery store prices, whoever doing all that type of stuff, that's the ones who gave them the right to do that type of stuff.
It's not even me personally. I don't even think it's an individual. It's not an individual anymore. It's a whole machine. It's a whole machine, a whole system. You know, it's not. It's been done so long that it's on autopilot. Like James was, it's on autopilot. So it's like it's a whole system. It's a whole machine. You don't even gotta do nothing. It's just that's the way it goes until we, the people, because me personally, we have different races that's going through the same stuff.
Yeah. Right, and listen, and Boz, I'm glad you went there. Because that's the thing. That's why I call it Stockholm Syndrome. That's why I say it's like Stockholm Syndrome. So many people have been affected by the same people's foot. The same group of people. When you talk about like Javon says, or the people who are raising the price of gas and food and all that. Well, it's a system that does it. It's a system that does it. It isn't a people that do it. It's a system that does it. Yes, the system is guided by people, but the system. I think this one of the failures or the things that the system fails to have instituted within it is the ability to say, okay, this is right and this is wrong. What it says is this is what is agreed upon and this is what is not agreed upon. So when you're working upon that type of formality rather than a formality that says this is definitely right, this is definitely wrong, what you end up with is right and wrong changing all the time.
Yeah.
You see, then right and wrong just changes all the time because there's nothing outside of yourself that can determine what's right or what's wrong. And when that stuff happens, man, you find yourself, and this is I think what's going on in our world today. You find yourself at the victim of people who has the most money.
Yeah.
All right, because they have the most. So now who controls the price of gas? Well, the man who has the most money to lose. Mm-hmm. And it happens to be invested in gas.
Mm-hmm. Hear me out. One second, James. I'm not saying that I'll be mad at the person at the gas store or the gas prices. I'm saying why dedicate my life to them if I notice they don't really, you know what I'm saying, my life it's not that important to them. My life isn't that important. So it's like, why would I dedicate my life to my family and figuring out how to figure it out with my family rather than you know, or like my group of people, my peers around me that I know, my peers, my peer groups, and people I know rather than somebody I don't know.
No. My answer to this one right here may be a little bit. Some people may have an issue with this one right here, but I'm gonna throw it out there. I think we've been overly from very young ages. We've been taught to compete with one another. We especially black men, we were taught to compete with one another. We are taught more to compete with one another than we're taught to work with one another.
Right.
I mean, if you sit back and think about it, for black men, there's been very few situations where black men was actually said, black boys would say, listen, let's sit down here, little black boy, sit down here, little black boy, sit down here, little black girl. Y'all listen to what we're saying. This is how y'all work together. What they've been taught more is how to compete.
Yes. Yeah.
How to compete? How do we struggle? Even today, you say, okay, you do a program. I got something trying to a definite need. A definite need is to improve situations like Wayne MBK. MBK is about helping assist the situation and improve outcomes for African American and Puerto Rican males. All right. That's the goal. And we want to change the narrative. Change the narrative mean that if you think this is what you got to do right now, let's change it so you can see some other options so you don't just see one way. All right. That's what we aim to do. And then some people will be like, yeah, but what about the girls? Oh, no, hey, we're not excluding the girls. We saying right now, this is where the focus is right here. Now let's figure out how to get focus on the girls over here. Let's do it. And that spun for so long until not too recently when Joanne and Mary Jones got together and said, hey, let's create this program called Glow Up Girl. I'm like, see?
Yeah.
That's how it happens. But I think what happens, we so used to competing that we can't work together.
I see what you're saying.
You see?
Yeah.
And I think that's more of why we end up with this mentality of the man can't be in the home, or why do we follow and listen to our oppressor? Or I used to be 5% back in the day, y'all. And one of the things that we used to say was, why does the original man love the devil? And the answer was because he gave him all the food to eat. He gave him all the wrong food to eat. And it was all tight. That was a whole bunch of different things that went on in there. That within that little question and answer, there was a whole bunch of things that would happen there. And the main thing was that we put stuff in our brain that contaminated our thoughts.
Yeah.
and then we pass it down from generation to generation to generation to generation to generation. And it doesn't get corrected. And if you try to correct it, people got a name for you. Extremists, socialists, capitalists, all types of things that say that you're opposed to people inflating the prices on your stuff so they can keep being rich. All right, that's why y'all got me going. I ain't mean to go all there.
No, I was just saying, how many people spend time online versus, you know what I'm saying, hating or figure or think about somebody else that they don't like, rather than going online and figuring out what can help you with your life. Let's be honest. So that's what I'm saying. Like, when it comes to like what we're talking about today with the Stockholm Syndrome and how but the Stockholm Syndrome and how like everything is like people just are marginalized. We feel like this. It's what we intake today. That has a lot to do with us feeling lesser than and feeling like we can't do as many things as we should, like as if like besides entertaining.
Let me flip it. Can I flip it? Can I flip the question back to you? Away?
Yeah.
Because I think I get where you're coming from. Well, let me ask you this: why is it so hard for people to listen?
Because I think that when you hear someone else's opinion is not like yours, they don't like that. People don't like.
Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard to understand that? Okay, there are other opinions out there.
Why is it hard for?
Why is it so hard for people to hear that? Why is it so hard? You know what I'm saying, Boz?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Why is it so hard to listen?
They need to be right.
They need to be right. What do you
I know
mean?
I'm talking to somebody in heated discussion. I'm trying to get my words out. They get their words out. I can't get my words out because they're trying to get their words out and they want to be right on a conversation.
As far as like what though, like as far as like you're trying to redirect someone to think differently.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I think
to think differently and or to just see different points of views.
In order for I would start with the young first. In order for a young male, black male, you know what I'm saying, Hispanic male, in order for you to get them to listen now, you're gonna have to show them the importance of listening. Like, first of all, their main mind, you know what I'm saying, is the money or whatever they're doing. You're gonna have to take their attention off what they're doing, and they're gonna have to be 9 out of 10. It's gonna have to be money, or you know what I'm saying, something. They gotta see your vision, and you know what I'm saying. 9 out of 10, it's gotta be something of value. Sad, but that's the way it is now.
Okay. Listen, but I respect that. And listen, but my dude, seriously, I'm so glad that you brought that point there to the table, because that's a point that a lot of people miss. That's everybody's, when you sit back, especially when you look back, you sit back and you look at what's going on in the hoods all across the country and locally around young people getting into all type of crazy stuff. All right, you got young cats with mad gunplay. Babies are getting killed. We got out here. We got people are just so annoyed with children out this way. That's all you hear about every day. Sometimes I look at Facebook just to see what somebody complaining about a child undid today. Some places that's everybody's so miserable when it comes to children.
Yeah, that's a fact. It's bad.
Yeah. So, but when we stop and we sit back and we look at it, man, the real corporate is we can't get people to believe or to see our vision or to stop what they're doing long enough to listen, because we ain't getting nobody's attention. As you said, Boz, we got to get the attention. They got to be able to, in order for people to do anything different, they got to first be able to stop and hear what you're saying. If they can't see your vision, they're gonna keep going on theirs.
That's true.
And their vision in today's time, your vision unfortunately, people, I think, and I could be wrong now, but I mean, who am I? This is what I see on a daily basis. This is my interpretation. All right. But so a lot of times people, they get so stuck on their way that they can't slow down. They can't stop, because what people saying don't make sense.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I hear a lot of people, man, trying to say that, listen, the grass is always green, that the cloud, that the sky is always blue and the water is always warm. No, sometimes we get storms.
Yeah. Hey.
You know, I mean, it ain't always cherry roses, and just because you can cope with it today, that don't mean that I can cope with it the same way you can.
Right.
Just because your shoulders can handle it, that don't mean my shoulders can.
Right. Yeah.
See, so how do we get people to stop and listen and understand first and foremost? Hold on, let me hear what he's saying, because I think you hit it there, boss. I think you hit it. You got to get people's attention first.
Yeah.
And then right, and then we can talk about Stockholm Syndrome. They can understand how we stuck in that, how we stuck in a situation where we may be loving the same people or fighting with the same people. We may be loving the same people that's harming us and fighting with the same people that's trying to help us.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I sit with people on so many different sides of the aisle. I talk with people who's involved with so many different things. Sometimes people are like, man, you talk to them? I like, yeah. yeah. That's how I say, yeah. That's how, yeah. Of course, why won't I talk with them?
Right. Plugged in.
Why won't I? If they oppose me, at least I want to know how and why.
Right.
That don't make no sense. Oh, they oppose me, so I ain't gonna talk to them.
Yeah, young ones want to be in. Young people want to be in. Like, I'm not saying but they want to be in a room. I'm telling you, they want to be around people that yes men. Like James, they really. If you tell them anything, even younger boys, you go anything.
I don't believe that. No, listen. No, I'm gonna get pushback on that one. I'm gonna get pushback. I deal with young cats, man. Right? I deal with young cats, and yeah, they'll get loose. They'll get loose, but as soon as a grown man show up, they get ready in line.
Yeah.
Listen, my boys gonna be my little homies that went on the trip. They probably gonna get mad when I tell you. So I'm gonna tell you something that happened. Right? I needed a belt while I was gone. Right? So I had to run to Walmart real fast. We got different people at the hotel with us. So I runs. I'm off the clock. I runs to Walmart real fast. I get somebody takes me to Walmart, and I buy a belt. And when I come back, right, they don't give out bags no more in New York. So I got the belt in my hand and the belt folded up. You know how you hold a belt when it's folded up, and the belt in my hand like that, right? So I come back. When I come back, I'm sitting there talking, and the people. I come in the hotel, and the clerk comes in and say, "Hey, are you with the kids in such and such room?" I said, "Yeah." Then they gave me a bad report, and I said, "What?" And so I went, I said, I'll take care of it. And I got the belt in my hand like this still, right? Because I'm just carrying the belt. So I walk into the weight room where they are all of them in the weight room. And so I walk in the weight room and they all in there, they on their phone, they video and they doing, you know how I got some ninth grade boys. I walk in, I said, and I'm talking to him with the belt about what the people said at the desk. And so I'm doing this and I'm talking to them. And they like, no, but it wasn't us, James. It wasn't us. Listen, then I noticed the camera was out. One of them had the camera out. I said, I know you're not sitting here thinking this is a game you're recording. I said,
right.
Let's go to your rooms. Y'all go get to your rooms. Two in the room. Let's go. And they jumped up. They forgot about everything they was doing and took off and went to the rooms. And I tell that story. Then later on, after I found out what was going on, I went and talked to the hotel staff, and they said that it wasn't because I told them, I said, all my boys are either black or Puerto Rican. And they said, oh no, these are white kids. I said, well, they weren't mine. They said, oh, they were the wrong ones, probably the kids from the fourth floor. So I went and I called them all back to my room, right?
Yeah.
I told them all, I said, come to my room. And then I was going to tell them that, listen, I sat down, I said, basically explained to them how you always got to do the right thing no matter what's going on, and let people do what they got to do to find out. Now, y'all had two issues. I had to find out what happened at the front, and y'all had to go to y'all rooms. And so I talked to them about it. And then after I explained to them that now they didn't do nothing wrong and they good and they can still chill, they all said, whew. I said, what's all that about? They said, what's up? They said, James, we thought you was going to whoop us. I said, no. They said, cause we know our mamas we ain't gonna say nothing if you do. So I said, no. So I tell you all that. I tell you all that to say that children will be children, but when a grown man show up, they gonna know what they supposed to be doing. So if they cussing you out, and they ain't talking, they ain't listening to what you're saying, that's because they don't respect your grown manism.
Yeah.
They see you too busy trying to be, they recognize your friendship.
Yeah, and I'm hearing a lot of kids out here talking spicy to all.
Yeah, but that's because they ain't got no grown men around. They got a bunch of friends, and look how they treat their friends.
Yeah. I hear that.
Feel me? They got a bunch of friends. That's what happens when you listen. You want to be your child's friend, homie? Seriously, you want to be your child's friend? You got to see how he treats his friends.
Yeah.
You got to get an understanding of that.
Right.
Because you man, you may be trying to step into a position. Listen, there was a guy, right? I got stories for days, y'all. There was a guy, right? His father, a long time ago. His father said, he's getting old, he's ready to die, and it's an old story. His father had a bag of gold coins, and he called his son in. And he said, "Son, listen, I'm gonna die soon, and I want you to take this back. When I do die, I want to leave everything, my whole farm and everything. I want to leave it to you. But first, what I need you to do is take this bag of gold coins, and I need you to travel throughout the land. And I want you to find the biggest fool that you could find. And I want you to give him this bag of gold. And then you can come back and have everything that I have left for you, which was worth what today would be billions." All right. So the father died, the boy took the bag of gold, he took off. He went this way, he went that way. He walked all over the place for years. Then finally he was about ready to give up and just head back home. And then he came across this hill. And when he came to the top of the hill, he looked down. There was like a village in between mountains, and they had this big old stage set up. And then they had two big old chairs sitting up in there. One looked like a king's chair, and then another one, you know what it was. But then it had a block of wood that looked like oil all over it. And he could have swore he saw a body laying next to it, or a head or something. But so he walked down and he got down with the people. And the people say, so they asked people, so what's going on here? And one of the people, they started telling us, well, our king, he's about to crown a new czar. You know, it's like a general. So he's about to crown a new czar. And he said, oh, really? Wow, it's a big occasion. Huh? I said, oh, no, he does this maybe 3-4 times a week, sometimes twice a day. He said, what? He said, our king is hard to please. He said, so if what happens is if the czar displeases our king, he has him beheaded. And then the new czar has to run and jump over the body and climb into the czar seat. And then he takes the ring, and then we go by and then we kiss his ring and we celebrate him as the new czar. And then we move on to our day until the king gets upset with him and kills him. Mm. So the man said, wait a minute, I got to see this. I got to see this. So he's standing there, right? And he watching, and the trumpets blow, and the king come out, and the king said, you know, I'm a hard man to please, and everybody knows what happens if you displease me. Bye. So so now the trumpet blow again, and way down the other end is this fat dude. He come running. He running, boy. He's top speed. He's running. And he hit that. There's so much blood on the stage. He done killed so many people that he started to hit that blood. It's like oil. He started slipping and sliding, but he run and he jumped over the last man's head, almost trip and fall and slide in that oil and come to an end. And then he jumped up in the czar's chair, and everybody went crazy. Wow. So the boy with the bag of gold coins, right? He get in. Yeah. Now everybody's got to kiss the ring of the czar. So the boy with the bag of gold coins, he get in line, and he start walking, and he come up to the czar, and the czar puts his hand out, and the boy shoved the bag of gold coins in his face. And the czar said, "What is this?" He said, "It's my dying father's wish." He said, "Your dying father's wish was for you to give a bag of gold coins to your dying father, to a newly crowned czar." He says, "No, sir. My father's dying wish was for me to give this bag of gold coins to the biggest fool that I saw." And he said, "Sir, You, sir, are the biggest fool I've ever saw. You see what happens to everybody who does this before you, but you jump right into that spot, thinking that it won't happen to you. He said, "You, sir, are the biggest fool." So he gave him the gold coin. He went on home. So listen, y'all. The moral of the story is, we get stuck in this thing called Stockholm Syndrome. And it's like Stockholm Syndrome, where we start identifying with people who really, they don't have our best interests in heart. You see him? You see what I'm saying, Javon?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And then they'll tell us. Then they'll tell us, right? Then they'll tell us that we got to do things this way and that way.
Right.
And then that'll cause us to go against our own nature. That'll cause us to go against that very thing which we feel is right or wrong. And then when we do that, we've lost our way.
Yeah, I got it. We lost, yeah.
And then the world seems hopeless.
Yeah.
But we will be, a lot of us we end up just like the that czar in that village who jumped over the dead man's body to be czar for maybe another couple of days.
For what?
You see, then that's us.
I think you can look at every aspect of life.
Say it again. Say it again.
Look at that at every aspect of life. You can look at that from the foods, your way of living, your survival, all that. Who do we depend on?
Real talk.
Your health care, all that, man.
Real talk. So listen, our time has came to a close. But before we go, Javon, what you got going on, man? I know you've been doing some things.
Yeah, we're doing some stuff at Windsong, and I've been doing some camp at the course in Windsong, and I've actually been enjoying it. Like me, the kids, we really connecting. It's always ups and downs, but I think it's really gonna change everyone's trajectory in a positive way. We're gonna be able to look back at this and say, "Hey, remember those days?" And then we're gonna be able to, like 2 years from now, we're gonna be able to elevate.
Good. What you got going on, boss?
Looking at some more like business ventures, more things to talk to these youth about, man, and show them stuff outside of sports as well, or well, not outside of sports, how you can use the sports for your life, you know what I'm saying, for everyday life, you know what I'm saying, use it the right way, basically, man, not just sports, get a bunch of money and not know how to live, because one day that sport is gonna stop from age, the ball gonna bounce, the football gonna, the running, all that gonna come to a halt. So how to live outside of that, I guess.
Yeah. That's it there. That's it, man. I got a whole bunch of stuff going. We got Unity Festival coming up. I'm still looking for vendors. We still need more vendors. I put it out on. I created a QR code that send you to an Eventbrite page where you can sign up if you want to be a vendor. I got a lot of people signing up. Check it out. It's on this Facebook page. It's on this Wayne MBK page. It's a QR code on there where you can sign up to be a vendor at Unity Fest, May 14th, 2022. Oh, yeah. All right, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Perkins Park in Newark. That's the biggest thing I've got going on right now. We're working on that. I got the county leaders going to be out there. I was just informed. I just seen that Night Road wants to have his one of his vehicles out there, mental health vehicles out there. I'm trying to get fire truck. It's gonna be great. I'm working with Rib Licious to come out and provide some food. We're bringing in Sean. I talked to Sean Williams yesterday from Oakland, California, spoken word artist. He's gonna come out and he's gonna help some spoken words from all the way from Oakland. Just talked with him yesterday, confirmed that he coming. We're gonna do some things. Unity Fest 2022. Yeah. Last year was gonna be great, but got rained out. This year gonna be greater. Rain, sleet, hail, shine. We're gonna have. All right. Yeah. That being said, Facebook. Remember, Stockholm Syndrome was real. We gotta shake it. We gotta shake it. If we don't make it happen for ourselves, you can't sit back and expect the people who's living comfortable to do it for you. they don't have no reason to change your situation if it's gonna cost them anything. Just remember that. You gotta go for yourself. All right, peace.
Peace.
Peace.